So for banana here on Inferno, I'm going to do the same thing every single round. Now come the banana early, toss a quick flash right on over, and then peek out after that blows up. And that's going to blind anybody that wants to peek car, and it's going to force them back. Now occasionally you will get killed by an opper that shoots while he's blind, but more often than not, you're either going to catch that opper and get the free kill on him, or you're going to make sure nobody's at car. After you clear that out, I'm going to be spamming through this wood thing here for, 10 or 12 bullets. And the reason I do that is just to obviously kill anybody that had blinded that decided to fall back behind car, which happens quite a bit. One thing I have to recognize here is that oftentimes someone's going to be sitting here, they're going to hear you bursting, wait for one of your bursts, and then peek out and try and grab you after you've bursted. So what you want to be doing is take a burst, unpeak, take some taps, never commit yourself. So sometimes you could even come over here and try and shoot from there. Although generally I think getting on this side is pretty preferable, because strafing out from here is really dangerous and it's not that great. You're very close range to a lot of people. I feel like you're at a disadvantage. Being in this cubby here gives you a little bit more room to kind of work. So after I clear out behind car, I jump up on here, walk out, and then strafe in and try and clear out any oppers here. Sometimes oppers will kill you, and it's something you have to accept, although I'd say at least more than 50% of the time I will kill any oppers or riflers holding this angle, or at least seriously damage them, and by doing so, I'm giving myself a good engagement, because of course if it's a 70-30 map or a 60-40 map, then a 50-50 engagement is something I want to take, right? Now next, it depends on the situation. If they're smoking off banana early, which oftentimes they will, then I never Molotov sandbags. However, if I'm worried about them playing sandbags, usually only after they've done it before, then I will Molotov it. It's fairly simple, just throw it off the wall, One thing I will do if I'm not Molotoving it though, I clear out these angles, which are pretty tough angles to clear. You have to be careful about this, and you have to be careful about this one-way smoke here, but I'll always peek out and clear this angle here, because you will see quite a few people will try and hold an angle like this or something like this, and you can get some pretty easy kills on people here. It's just a simple one tap, and that's about, that's the peeking and movement I was talking about in the video. It's pretty simple. It's just a one tap. Then I'll come on up, and oftentimes I'll just try and, quick peek this, throw out a shot with an opper. It's important to remember, if you peek out wide enough that you actually hit them, then they have time to actually kill you. You need to make sure you're fake peeking where they only see your arm or something, where you can't even see them. Then, if nobody's throwing that, I'll come back, throw a smoke up, so line up from this chimney up there, and come right back on up. And usually, before I throw that smoke, I'll wait out their smoke. So if there's a smoke here, I'll wait out that smoke, and while I'm waiting it out, I'll jump onto this spool here, and I'll try and catch people here. You can kind of see any oppers on top of spools, catch anybody there, and you can jump up and down over the smoke. But once that's dissipated, I'll throw that smoke, and one other thing I'll do, which is, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the video or not, but if you have a nade, or, you have a flash as well, and you're worried about someone being in this corner, you can actually bank it off that pole, and you'll hear it if it hits them. You'll actually hear it hit them, and then you can come around and pre-fire them, which is pretty awesome. But the next thing is, after throwing that smoke down, oftentimes, if I know they're playing someone CT, which they often will, I'll oftentimes just wait right here. Because what people like to do is, they like to toss a flash off here and then come out with it after it blows up. And if you just wait out that flash, you can oftentimes get kills anyways. Now, past this point, this is where I start to wait for my team, start to wait for executes, and start to decide from there. Because moving into sight from this spot, it's getting pretty dangerous. You're getting past the point of no return, and you can't really do very much from there. However, if I find that they're playing really passively, this is pretty awesome. I'll have that smoke go down at CT, walk up like this. If nobody's peeking me here, I walk into the smoke and come out the other side, and I'll walk around. And this is something that's done me, it's given me a lot of success in the past. It seems really fucking weird, right? But nobody's going to be staring at that smoke in CT spawn. Oftentimes they'll be playing like spools and first oranges, and you can kind of catch them in that way. So that's something that I'll do if we're in like a 3-on-5 or something, where I need to do something risky, need to make a play, and I need to go into Manasa. So for DE cash, I'm always going to be going towards B, and I'm always going to have a smoke, a Molotov, and 2 flashes here. And I'm going to be doing the same thing every round. Come right on towards B, aim near the ground here, and then jump and throw as I get near this corner so I can flash any operas or anybody playing in weird spots. And you can run up and pop around the corner as soon as that blows up. That's going to blind any operas. It's going to blind a lot of people there. Then I'm going to come up to the box and come up to blocks and try and take out this guy Heaven with this standard peek here. Usually you can get a pretty easy headshot. Now, you do have to recognize here, someone could have smoked down here. It really depends how they smoked for whether or not you can push through. If they smoked late, after you threw the flash, you can just jump on top of this box, and oftentimes you'll get, like, if they threw a smoke down where you can get out of it, the smoke will land usually like closer to here. You can get out of it as you're on top of the box. I'll always do this. I'll try and crouch on top of the box, get some kills. The reason I have a Molotov is if they're ecoing, I'd always throw that Molotov there just to cover that corner. If they're not ecoing, it's good to have a Molotov anyways. But let's assume there's no smoke here. But if there is a smoke here, you have to make the decision yourself if you want to jump on top of this box to get through it, or if you want to wait it out. It's really up to you. Then you can come across this box, try and clear out CT. Generally, there sometimes will be an opera. It's not that common because teams almost always smoke it off. So generally, there isn't going to be an opera here. But if there is, you're still going to have a pretty decent advantage. Then I'll drop, make sure I clear out this, strafe out, clear out headshot. Then I'll come around like this. This is like the most complicated spot here for it. Strafe out here and clear out this box. This is the dangerous angle here. This is the most dangerous angle here. Clear out that box, and then I'll come around the corner like this to make sure I clear out this corner if I didn't Molotov it. Strafe around. Now I've made it into checkers. If I'm going to be working sight, I'll usually smoke off fence just to make sure I don't get shot in the back. Clear out here. Clear out here. This is another dangerous angle. I feel like they have a bit of an advantage here, but I'll still clear it if I'm feeling confident. And then from this spot, you want to wait for an execute. Now, if your team isn't executing, I'll walk up along this edge here, strafing out, clearing all these angles. And then once you get here, this is the dangerous bit. Are they going to be CT or are they going to be behind that box? You have to make the decision yourself. If you think they're going to be CT, you can come around the corner like this, right? And hopefully try and surprise someone from the angle you're playing. And then you can actually go into CT and ignore sight. So generally, if they're not peeking and I've made it up this far, I'll just ignore sight, go into CT, flank some people, and go from there. So for Dust 2, like every map, I'm going to have a Molotov, a smoke, and 2 flashes. And for this map, I'm also going to be coming towards lower tunnels early. I'm going to be heading towards Cat. And I do the same thing every round as the same on every map. I'm going to head right on out through lower. I'm going to come out. I'm going to peek towards mid. If I feel comfortable with this, if I feel like I can land the shot, I'll take this peek. Otherwise, you know, I won't. I'll just toss a flash over and jump up onto this box and then jump up onto Cat. And that's a good way to kind of deal with their opera there, especially if you have a teammate that smokes mid, like you often will. They won't be able to shoot you as you jump up on Cat, so you'll be into a great spot. And then to clear out Cat here, I'm just going to... There are a few ways you can do it. Way number 1, you can aim at this dot here, run forward and throw, and then just turn around as it blows up, and that's going to blow up right above you, and that's going to clear out anywhere here. The second way that I like to throw it is I'll toss a flash on top of this box and then peek out in front of it. And those are just 2 styles of flashes. That one, they have to turn around or they have to look at it and shoot at you, and if they look at it and shoot at you, they're going to get blind, right? So it's kind of that style of flash. The other one's going to be a pop flash. With that pop flash, you have to make sure that you throw it at the correct times. But generally, when I'm going to be clearing Cat, if I come up through Cat, so if I end up, you know, coming up through Cat like I went long earlier, something like that, jump across here, get up onto Cat, and this is how I'll clear it. Just clear out this angle, clear out this angle, and then strafe across and crouch out on to clear out this angle, strafe out, clear this, and there's not very many nades that you have to throw on Dust 2 here to get pushed up on Cat. It's a very easy place to go. Usually I'll have 1 flash, a Molotov, and a smoke by the time I get towards the top of Dust 2 Cat here. And depending on how I feel, I'll sometimes try and clear this. So one way to clear this is if you're opping, you crouch out like this and then stand up, and you'll clear that goose area very quickly. And then I'll get pushed up on Cat, and you kind of have to decide where you want to go from there. This is one of the reasons I sometimes have trouble on Dust 2, because clearing out Cat doesn't really get you that much done. However, a couple things that I do like to do, or one of the things I do like to do, is if I'm playing against just a Fug team, I'll just do that. So I'll toss down that smoke, I'll throw out the flash, and then I'll drop into CT, and you can catch a ton of people off guard by dropping in a CT like this, and you can do really well with that. Otherwise, you kind of have to figure out what you want to do from there. So sometimes I'll come back mid. You can throw some pretty simple flashes at mid, like you can throw this flash like right off here. Or you can throw a flash from Cat as well. I'm not an expert at throwing this one anymore, but you can just throw it off the ground and it'll bounce out and blind mid as well. There's lots of flashes you can throw and you can come out mid. It's really up to you what you want to do from there. But Dust 2, I'd say you get the least map control from this this work pick strat. For season, I will always be going towards long A. I'll be walking at this second pillar just to make sure that nobody can hear me. Walking all the way around doesn't really need to do anything here. Straight up peeking this angle, then strafe out peeking this angle. The reason I peek close to the corner, try and kind of catch someone off guard, I'm going to be a very different angle. If I was to peek back there, they need to be aiming up here. If them to peek close and crouch up, they need to be aiming here, and it's a very different angle. So I'll do that, come right on up, walking the whole way. This is the dangerous part. You kind of have to jump across here to make sure you can't get off. Peek across here. This is a spot that a lot of people do play with rifles, so if you can jump across that first angle and land and peek this is great. I'll peek this angle, strafe across, peek out here, clear out here. Make sure I always clear out here, and then I'll strafe back and I'll make sure this is clear again, and then I'll toss a flash out like that, and then I'll come out and I'll come out like that. That flash will blind people that are sitting like looking here. It's gonna land to the edge of their screen, and they're gonna have a really tough time dealing with it if they're just trying to hold that angle, or if they're just holding like this or anything like this is gonna blind them if they're trying to hold any angles like this. Great flash for that. The other thing I'll do, if I think they're gonna be opping it, I'll toss that smoke down. Of course, it's like the only problem with that smoke is it's going to let them know where they're going. So I'll throw that smoke, throw the flash, and then immediately come out. And anybody that's trying to clear out and hold these angles is going to be blind. Then I get into horseshoe, and then you can kind of go from here. Oftentimes I'll just crouch out and throw a flash like that so I can clear out J. And then I'll try and get pushed up into upper CT. There's a lot of things you can do from there. You can probably see the reason that I feel very uncomfortable on T side of season. I'm not that great at A. Like, this used to be a great solo queue take on A, in Source, but in Go it's not quite as good because of the layout of the map. The other thing you can do is you can come to B, and if I come to B, I'll throw a flash like that. I'll always clear out this angle very decisively, then come back around, strafe out here, clear this out, clear that out, and then basically just go from here. There's not really much else to do on this map. Now for Mirage, this is one of the toughest maps for me to play in solo queue because there really is no area where you can kind of clear out singular angles at the same time. You have to kind of decide which poison to choose, really. And I do prefer to go Palace here with a rifle or with an op, just because I'm confident with this peak. Against riflers, I'm confident I can basically always win that, and against oppers, I can still win it sometimes as well. So that's why I come Palace. For this, again, Molotov, flash, smoke, gonna come towards Palace. You kind of do need to run more executes on this map, but the first thing I'll do is I always walk at these stairs, walk up over here and get to this pillar, holding that push early, and then come back around, walk up this way, not walking straight up there, strafe out again as I get close. Wait here. Usually you're gonna get smoked off at about this time, so you can come over to the corner, and I'll sit in this corner here and wait for someone to wait for this smoke, and I'll stare at this smoke. As it dissipates, you're gonna see someone's name pop up if they're there, and a lot of people will be sitting there waiting for that smoke to dissipate, so you can get a lot of kills just by waiting here. Then what I'll do here is I'll come back out and I'll strafe out and try and kill this guy at stairs, hopefully trying to make no noise, although it's not always consistent that you don't make any noise when you peek this. And if nobody's peeking around stairs or jungle, this is what I really like to do. I'll just walk out. I'll just solo walk out. It works incredibly well because oftentimes someone will be tri-stack looking mid, looking ramp. There'll be someone CT looking ramp. And if someone is CT looking Palace, I feel like this is an angle I can often win engagements at. It's a very easy one tap. They're almost always playing on this edge of it, and I feel like I can win that a lot of the time. And on a map that's as CT-sided as Mirage, I think that's a definite risk that you should be able to take. And if you're going to be executing, so usually you have to kind of wait for an execute after a certain point once you get to Palace, you can just toss a Molotov under balcony, and that's going to really help your team execute, and that's going to kill a lot of people. So anyways. So for overpass, I'll almost always come towards mid here, come to these stairs, toss a flash up like that, turn around as it blows up, run right up like this, and then I'll come over here and peek out, jump to peek out all of these angles just to clear out all of these spots. And it's really important that you can kind of jump here to clear out all these spots because there's a lot of op spots that they could be playing. After I clear out all these spots, hopefully I had someone on my team clear out stairs because otherwise I'm kind of in a tough spot here. If nobody cleared out stairs, I'll come over around and peek from here. Now I'll have to fake peek an opera that could be there, so I'll fake peek like so. Clear that out. Once I've cleared that out, then I can strafe across, and I like to play on top of these benches just so I can get a surprising angle on some people instead of playing against this back wall where I feel like the guy on stairs is gonna have, you know, he's gonna expect me to be there. I'll play on top of these benches, try and get that one tap off on him. Then if nobody's stairs and nobody's bathrooms, I'll come out, throw a flash like that, peek in front of the flash, clear that out, just come right on up. Make sure I'll clear out this spot. Again, quick peek this angle or fake peek this angle, try and clear that out. And then come around here and I'll jump just to check if anybody's at that bench. And then you can actually stand right here. Try and clear anybody that's right around here. If you do spot anybody, then basically from this point, you kind of have to do something with your team, although you can continue to fake peek this where an opera could be there and try and catch them off guard, especially with the elevation you can get from this bench. You can catch them off guard there. And then if you can get up here, you can actually work a lot of stuff on your own. If you can actually get to here, and then you can kind of peek out and clear bank, you can do quite a bit. You can, you know, throw smokes of your own. That smoke doesn't do shit. You can throw smokes. I wonder if that smoke does anything. I'm trying to think like, what the smoke do. I guess it can't go through that window. Anyways, you can do a lot of stuff on your own. You can throw a smoke that lands by the there. You can kind of clear out truck. You can do quite a bit on this map just with the solo clear. The dangerous part is when you're clearing bathrooms here, because you kind of do have to run into multiple angles at once, but I do my very best here to be clearing them all out one at a time where I'm not too exposed to multiple angles, and then this flash can do a lot. One thing that's important to remember here is if you kill someone bathrooms and your team spots someone long, just book it. I always do this. I will always just book it right into sight and come up behind this guy long, because they're almost never going to be playing 3A, at least not if they're playing aggressively and you only spot 2 of them. Generally, you can come up behind this guy long and get a pretty easy kill there, especially if you kill one and then your teammate spots one at long, or if you spot 2 at long and you know you can just come right up behind them. It actually works really, really well. For nuke, and this is going to be the last one I'm going to do. I haven't played Cobble enough to tell you exactly how I'm going to play that, nor have I played Train enough to explain to you exactly how I would play that. So I haven't really solidified a way I'm going to do it for any of those. So I'm just going to show you nuke because I've played a ton of nuke. I'm going to buy actually a nade, a smoke, and a flash. Sometimes I'll buy a Molotov, it really depends, but a lot of the time I will go for a nade, just so I can nade off this wall and clear this corner instead of Molotoving it. I feel like the nade is going to do more damage, because I'm focusing on doing damage to this guy back here, not clearing out the angle, and the nade will do a little bit more in that regard. So coming towards ramp, I'll come here immediately, just spam through here. That'll kill people headshot occasionally. Basically, it's just trying to force out the smoke. They'll smoke it, and then I'm trying to draw out the nade without taking damage. So oftentimes I'll shoot, stop shooting as if I'm gone into ramp, and then wait, and a lot of the time they'll nade it, or I'll come around and shooting a few bullets, just trying to draw out that nade. Usually you can draw out that nade. It's kind of trial and error to get it down, but most of the time now I won't get hit by a nade. Then I'll jump across. A lot of the time I'll spray through the smoke to try and clear out these angles here. Make sure as you're spraying through the smoke, you're moving so that your tracers don't give away your area and they can't shoot you right back. I'll also clear out this angle here. Then once that smoke dissipates, I'll come up, throw the smoke off of this line here, and then walk and throw a flash. Usually I'll try and throw that flash a little bit lower, just so that it'll make sure it pop flashes. Come out, strafe clear here, so it'll be like clear that, clear that. These are this is a pretty easy kill here. If he's here, one tap, it's very straightforward for that kill. Then I'll come out. You can see that Jay is smoked off, so I don't have to worry about that. I'll toss a flash off of that, and as soon as that blows up, like as that is about to blow up, it's actually a pretty sick flash the way it lands. As that's blowing up, it'll blow up. I'll come out right at the same time. I'll come back, hug this wall here, gun out all the time. Then around, as soon as you get out here, this smoke's going to start to dissipate, and you can just kill anybody that's waiting at headshot. You can kill anybody that's waiting around here. You'll really be able to catch them off guard here as they're waiting at this angle. Then I'll walk up, clear this out again, make sure I'm walking around, clearing out everything, and then come right around this corner. Make sure that you're like worried about someone possibly holding this angle, so I crouch under it, and then I'll come around and crouch out here, and I'll clear all this out, come around through hell. This is assuming I've gotten no kills so far. Or I've only got like one and there's no reason for me to do anything different. Come out and crouch out here, and it'll catch anybody here, and then a lot of the time I'll just keep walking around and I'll come out behind them outer and I'll get some kills outer. I can also go down lower if I want. That's just a certain way I can do it. The other way I can do it is if I get a kill on the guy here, the other thing you can do is if you get a kill early, or like you shoot at this guy, you know he's hurt, you know they play only one ramp, usually you can figure out that throughout the half, you know they only play one ramp, you chase this guy down, so you immediately just drop and follow him, get the kill, and then you immediately push up through lower. I mentioned this in my original video about clearing out or the first guy in a rush. Always wanted to get as deep as pushed up into the site as possible. This is very important on nuke. It is very important on maps like this where, you know, getting aggressively positioned is incredibly important. So I'll just try and chase the guy down, and usually I'll try and get the kill on him and then immediately jump into window side here. Usually you can get a little bit of a bunny hop off if you do a little bit of an airstrafe, and you can come immediately through the window and get into a better spot to clear it. Anyways, that's it. That's all I'm doing for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helped.